Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this evening's installment of Gamplify. This particular webinar is going out to all of the people who attended this year's Direct Selling Women's Alliance and that great event that we had in Dallas-Fort Worth, the 2011 DSWA Roundup Celebration. And guys, it was so phenomenal to be part of that event. Gamplify, my company, and my wife and children, all of us there as the diamond sponsors, sharing with each and every one of you what Gamplify is and really interacting with you. And I just definitely want to do a shout out to the DSWA, the types of people that we met, the types of relationships that were developed, the way that all of you there at the DSWA and not only embraced Gamplify and our staff, but my whole family who was attending as well. It was really quite a blessing for us to be with you all. The DSWA is an absolutely phenomenal organization. And guys, the feedback from the event was absolutely phenomenal. It was so exciting to have everybody playing the game. Tonight we're going to be reviewing some of what your next steps could be and what Gamplify is all about. We were really taken back by the feedback and the type of interaction that we had in people playing the game. We knew coming into the DSWA event that to really understand Gamplify is to actually play the game itself. So when we had the idea about playing the DSWA Roundup Points game and actually Gamplifying the DSWA event, we thought, well, this is going to be a great idea or it's going to be a terrible idea. As I was meeting with the corporate executives on Thursday prior to the event, and sharing with them some of the concepts of Gamplify. I said, guys, we're Gamplifying this event, and it's either going to be a great success or it's going to be a terrible failure. Well, based on the results and the surveys that you guys filled in as you turned in your scorecards, it definitely was a great success. The feedback, the level of engagement, how everybody had fun and really played and really played full on, it was totally exciting to see the results that were produced. And we'll share some of the testimonies with you. But you guys, as you filled out the survey, as you played the game, you guys had fun and were definitely competitive and exciting. So tonight's webinar is about introducing to you what your next steps are. We'll do a little bit of a review of what Gamplify is. We'll share with you some case studies and some things that we have been finding over the past 6 and 9 months, and we'll tell you what your next steps are. Now, some of you are getting your own Gamplify site for free because you actually participated in the game. Some of you won the game, and you're going to be getting other incentives and prizes for actually playing Gamplify, and I'll cover those prizes, and I'll cover the next steps at the end of this webinar. But let's take a look real quick at what Gamplify is all about. Gamplify is about amplifying your results. Bottom line, results are what we're looking for in the direct sales profession. Results in sharing our products and services, results in building our teams and building our organizations, and Gamplify is literally the word amplify with the G. We're going to explain what the G part is here in just a few moments, but just know that Gamplify is all about amplifying the results of your business, of yourself, and of your team. Now, you guys saw this banner at the DSWA. We had this big banner hanging up behind our booth that talked about having fun, engaging, attracting, and retaining. And we're going to talk more about some of these other words and pictures that you see on the screen as we go into our case study. But here's the question that I want to ask you. And matter of fact, I already know the answer because we saw your evaluations and your surveys that you filled out. Did you see how Gamplifying the DSWA event created learning, empowerment, competition, game, community, team building, right? And all the reporting and the tracking of the scorecards and literally the teams going viral by sharing one with another. Just some of the stories that came out of, teams huddling up at their table when we handed out the scorecards. Some of the team leaders were like, okay, guys, this is it. We're going to win this thing. We're going to get recognition. We're going to win this. We're going to have fun. Are you in or you out, right? A lot of the teams had a total amount of fun. And so what we knew by Gamplifying the DSWA event, it would give you an experience around all of these benefits of the Gamplify software. And part of tonight is to take it beyond the event and take it into your everyday activities that you do as a direct sales professional. Gamplify is very simply the use of games, game thinking, and game mechanics in non-game contexts to create user engagement and loyalty, all while having fun solving real world problems. Now, guys, we're using the games and game thinking, and the real world context that we're actually solving a problem is the direct sales profession. And it's not so much a problem, but we want to increase people using our products, people using our services, people joining our teams, people engaging with our teams and staying on our teams. That's a real world problem of the direct sales industry. And so what we're doing is we're bringing game and game thinking in what is typically a non-game context. I mean, you probably don't think of your direct sales business and your direct sales profession as a game, and yet it can be gamed and use these game dynamics and this game thinking to really create fun, engagement, attraction, and retention. Matter of fact, one great leader with a company, a seven-figure earner, came up to me. She goes, "You don't know how serendipitous this is. I've been working with my team, and I've got team members that have been with me for years, and we were just talking about this very element. How do we bring fun back to our team? I mean, they're engaged with the product, they're engaged in building their business, but it's lost a little bit of its edge. So how do we have fun? And how do we engage them?" And as she played the game, she began to realize, wow, the game is literally going to allow my team to have fun. It's going to create a level of engagement. It's going to attract others to play with us in a very viral and smooth way. And all of this is going to create retention. So Gamplify is G for the game and A for the amplify. Amplifying your business, amplifying your results. You know, Dale Carnegie says it best in How to Win Friends and Influence People. Matter of fact, I got this quote from Doug Bixler, one of the great leaders I met at the DSWA. And Dale Carnegie says it this way: "The only way under high heaven to get anyone to do anything is to make them want to do it themselves." You all know that as direct sales professionals. When you get your team engaged for their own reasons, for their own motives, for their own desires, then they're actually taking the bull by the horns. They're putting the reins in their hands. And so how do we do this? How do we get our people, our teams, our customers to want to do something and to want to do it for their own reasons and for their own devices? And what we want to suggest, just like Daniel Pink does in his book Drive, which is the surprising truth about what motivates us, is that it's all about incentives. And an incentive is any factor, financial or non-financial, that enables or motivates a particular course of action. And guys, there's certain courses of action that we want in the direct sales profession. We want people engaging with a product or service on a regular and retentive basis. We want people building huge businesses and joining us, engaging in the business side. And so how do we motivate people to take that action? And an incentive also counts for a reason for preferring one choice over the alternatives. How do we have people choose into our calls, choose into our business building strategies, choose into using our products and services over all the other choices? And we want to suggest to you that by Gamplifying your product and service, by Gamplifying your business, it gives your team members and your customers an incentive, a very compelling reason to choose you. To choose your team, your product, and what you're doing above all else. Now the challenge is that most people over time have chosen wrong incentives. I mean, they're on the left-hand side of the screen. You see the mule, right? And a lot of people think of carrot and sticks, like the carrot is the prize and the stick is the whip. But actually, the carrot and stick comes from the olden days where mules and horses would pull carriages. And the farmer or whoever would put a stick out in front of the mule and put a carrot out there. So the mule was pulling all day for the reward of the carrot. And of course, the carrot didn't come till the end of a long, hard day. But much of the concept of carrot and stick has also been that there's a stick, there's a penalty, like what you see on the right-hand side. Let me ask you, how many of you leaders feel like you're constantly carroting and sticking your teams? You're constantly hanging the next promotion, the next this, the next that in front of them. Or you're trying to motivate them, kind of like that guy, forking them along, pressing them along, because otherwise it just seems like they just sit there. They don't actually engage at the level we're engaging. So how do we get the incentives aligned designed to not just do it for you, but to do it themselves, for them to really own their product experience, for them to really own the concept of building their own business. So I suggest we've got to get away from the old, come on, the old authoritarian, accountability mode where we carrot and stick everybody, and get people engaged in games where they're just literally having fun. I mean, think about what you did at the DSWA 2011 celebration. Now, you were planning on networking. You were planning on visiting the vendors, but when we put a game around it, when we put competition around it, when we put points and prizes around it, what happened? You look like the people on the right-hand side. When we'd say, who's in the lead? Or we'd bring the leaderboard up. Everybody would cheer and clap and just have fun. And there wasn't like, okay, everybody, go around and visit all the vendors or else, right? There wasn't like the lady on the left-hand side of the screen carrot and sticking us. We literally created a game around it that made it fun, compelling, and engaging. And remember, Gamplify is about engaging game thinking and game dynamics in real-world contexts. What are some of the game thinkings? What are some of the game dynamics that we engage? Number one, and you saw this in the brochure, we engage scorecards, the ability to track points around activities. And these activities, as we're going to talk about in a few moments, can be all kinds of things. It can be your product and service. It can be around your compensation plan. It can be around personal growth. It can be around anything that you want it to be around. You're literally breaking activities into scorecards. And I'm going to show you some example scorecards here in just a few moments. We also have the game dynamic of leaderboards. I mean, every time we brought the leaderboard up at the DSWA event, people even ran up to the screens, right? They were up there close to the big Jumbotron saying, oh, there's our team, and they cheer if their team went up a level or not. It created stickiness. It created engagement. And then many of you engaged in the social media where you were kind of talking to each other. Imagine how that social media interaction, that community, that tribe building is really going to increase when you're actually engaging with your very own team. And then the game update, where you, the leader, are constantly keeping your team informed of what's going on in the game. And there's a lot of other game dynamics. There's a lot of other incentives that we put in there, but these are the four major ones. If you master these four major ones, then we can add a host of other activities, other game dynamics that will literally create a higher level of engagement and an even higher level of retention as we go along. Now here's the question. What can you gamplify? What can you build game dynamics and game thinking around? Well, you guys got to experience it. You see the picture there in the top left. That was the DSWA event, right? We gamplified an event in training. Very simply built products, points, and all different types of things around playing the DSW game. It was just that simple. Jumping over to the scorecard, I mean, look at this. Here's the leaderboard. People literally clocking in points and entering and all of this. Hundreds of people played the game. It was exciting. And what were we gamplifying? Activities around things that you would normally do. Visit all the partner booths. Greet a minimum of 2 speakers. Be on time for each session and all of these points. And then we put points around bonus points activities like, made a purchase, attended an optional event, tweeted, stayed late, and make sure you engaged all the way into the evening. And then we even had those penalty points, late for sessions, don't wear your lanyard, and all of that. It was exciting. See how simple it is to give points around activities, penalty points, extra bonus points, and then just really key daily event activities that we wanted to incentivize. It's that easy to build a game even around an event, even around something as simple as a training. And then comes building things around your product, around your service, around the financial game. We're going to be showing you some other exciting ways to actually engage with your product and service, and how to build engagement around people engaging with your product or service. The same thing on the financial game. And I'm going to show you some sample scorecards here in a minute where you can build points around key activities that build growth, that bring team members onto your team, that increase volume within your team. You can even do personal growth. We've got games around personal growth. And really, you can gamplify anything. So currently your experience has been around Gamplifying the DSWA event. So you've had an experience playing with the scorecards, interacting with other teams around the DSWA event itself. Now what we want to show you is what it is to interact around your product and service, around your company, around the kind of things that you want to bring and show the world. And it's going to be exciting as you begin to really understand we can Gamplify anything. You as the lead player are going to be designing your scorecard. And at the end of this webinar, we'll be talking about what your next steps are and how you can begin to Gamplify your direct sales company, how you can begin to Gamplify your product or service, and what that really means. And really what I want to do first is share a case study with you. I've been developing systems in the direct sales profession for over a decade now. And much of the incentives that I have used are what we talked about earlier. Accountability systems, carrot and stick systems, hanging a carrot out there of a great reward or maybe a challenge and a bonus that the direct sales company had in their compensation plan, or really held them accountable. Come on guys, make the calls, do the activities. And it was always this carrot and stick activities. Well, we decided we were going to Gamplify everything. And one of our first beta companies and beta teams that we utilized was a company called Isagenix, a direct sales company that's been around for 9 years. And we have some great relationships with them, and especially one of their rep teams. And so we got permission to go out and begin to launch a Gamplified system around this company. Now, please note, I'm not promoting this company. Okay, I'm simply using it as one of the case studies. We launched their first beta team January 5th of 2011, and we've been running matches starting every single week. So please note, final disclaimer, I'm not promoting this company, but I want to give you some real world case studies so you can kind of get your mind wrapped around this, because I'm going to go ahead and give you the punchline. Since January 5th of this year, and now we're right here around May 9th, we have had a 90% retention rate on a $300 to $350 auto ship. That's what we've seen with this company and with the people that are playing the game within this company. Guys, that is huge. 90% of the people play month after month after month with this game. And I'm going to give you some examples and show you some scorecards. And I believe by looking at this real world example, it'll trigger some ideas of what would be available with your company and what you could do there. You see, the Fit and Fun game simply took this company, a direct sales company, Isagenix, and their core products and their financial opportunity and made a game around it. And they called it the 4-week overall health transformation. Isagenix is a nutritional product company. We know that we can Gamplify any product or service. Matter of fact, there was a diverse number of companies there at the DSWA event, and we're confident no matter what your product or service is, we can Gamplify it. I mean, who thought we could Gamplify the DSWA event and activities you were planning on doing anyway and make it that fun? We can make any product or service fun. It just happens to be with the Fit and Fun game, theirs is around health and wellness and nutrition. And we play a 4-week, 28-day game. And just like at the DSWA, we create teams of 3 to 5 players. You guys were sitting at teams of 6, so most teams were 6 players. You can do 3, you can do 5. We have just found that around 3 to 5 players gives you enough team players to make it fun, but not too many team players that people don't get lost. But you can choose, as you design your game, how many players you want on each team. And what we did was, just like at the DSWA, you guys were focused on points, not just the activity itself, right? There was meeting vendors, there was networking with people, and all of these things. And so the points and the leaderboards and the scorecards subsumed the actual activities you were planning on doing anyway, which was networking and going out with vendors. Now, we had a lot of comments about people saying, I would have never networked like I did. Others said, I networked like this, but this made it a whole lot more fun. So that was exciting. But with the Fit and Fun game, this company is a lot about shedding pounds and inches. But we all know there's a lot of resistance to that. And so what we do is we get people focusing not on the pounds and inches lost, but on points gained by people getting in teams of 3 to 5 players and earning points for key health and wellness activities. Team members, customers begin to focus on winning the game versus focusing on all their past experience around losing weight, getting healthy, and all of that. And again, this will work for anything. So what you see here is a leaderboard, much like the leaderboard you saw at the DSWA, where teams are coming together. They're getting points. And we're even tracking the pounds and inches lost on that particular team. Now, we don't make people's individual pounds and inches available, but we make their total loss available and what they're shedding. And this particular game, just to give you some ideas, goes beyond just their products. We incentivize other activities that are in synergy and harmony with their nutritional system. Things like eating right, drinking the right amount of water, getting exercise, getting the right amount of sleep, and adopting a good habit or dropping a bad habit. Things that are well beyond the products and services they offer, well beyond their compensation system, but yet are other activities that fall into synergy and harmony with the use of their nutritional program. So we build a scorecard around those activities. Now, Isogenics, as an example, has a meal replacement shake. They have a metabolic accelerator. They have all these super drinks and snacks and all of this. So you see here on the screen, we put points to taking their nutritional kit each and every day. And I'll show you the actual live scorecard where we give points for sleeping and bonus points and penalty points. And I hope you're thinking about what kind of activities around your products or services that we could do as well. So each day, in a matter of minutes, and usually it's 1 to 3 minutes, a player will log into their website and check off their points, much like you logged into Gamplify.us and checked off your points each day. Imagine your players logging in each day and checking off points for key activities and interacting with your product or your service. And then those scores all tally up into the leaderboard. And the leaderboard, just like you experienced at the DSWA, was a dynamic leaderboard that allowed each person to see how they were stacking up. Now let me show you a couple example scorecards, so it can give you even a further idea. As an example, this is a weekly scorecard. Now this is an offline scorecard, but I'm going to zoom in because it's easier to show you. Now again, this is for example purposes only. Your company will have different products, different services that they'll offer. Just giving you an idea. I mean, who would have thought that we would take the individual components of this nutritional program that has 7 or 8 different components, and all we did was put a point value for taking the Ionix drink and the accelerated capsule, for the cleanse drink. We just simply put a point value for interacting with each one of these products. This could work for cosmetics. It could work for services. It could work for any kind of consumer goods for interacting and actually using those actual products and services. And before I lose you, if you absolutely think, oh, there's no way you can Gamplify my product or service, give us a shot at it. And most importantly, as I'm going to show you in just a minute, at least think about incentivizing the business building activities, which I'll show you in just a moment. So they have cleanse days and different products that happen on those days. And then they literally have custom days where once a person produces a certain amount of pounds and inches but still wants to continue to play, they can create their own custom days. And then there's health bonus activities, and these are what we're talking about: exercising, water, sleep, transformational. Now, again, most of these, just like the DSWA Roundup Points game, this game is a game of honor and integrity. Each person is self-scoring themselves. And so that's one of the reasons why oftentimes we allow the compensation plan to be the bonus, the cash prizes, because we don't, we want people not to game the system. But guys, this brings up very phenomenal coaching experiences for your team as they get the aha moments around their integrity and their desires to cheat or their desires to stay on this. And guys, with this particular game, we got people waking up at like 10 o'clock saying, oh my gosh, I didn't get my exercise in. And so they get up and exercise. Remember the beginning of this webinar. This is about incentives, putting a game that motivates people to make decisions and change their behavior. And so what we've been able to do with the Fit and Fun game is change people's behaviors and their overall health and wellness, and change their behavior in interacting with this particular company's products. Now here's some team bonus activities though. See, we also give bonus points for not just playing the game, but also communicating. So there's daily communicating with your team, putting a post on the social media wall, sending a message through the system, entering your scores daily. This company has a daily call, very brief call each day for all the players, so attending or listening to the record. And then there's penalty points as well. So that's an example of what like a 28-day game would look like. And basically you just go, just like with the Roundup game, there was only 2 columns, Friday and Saturday. This has 4 weeks of, when this game happens to start on Wednesday through Tuesday. And so they play this for 4 straight weeks, they watch the leaderboards, and they get those points going. They have a a whole nother game going for those people who don't want to engage in 28 days. They have an 11-day breakthrough game. Much the same scorecard, but simply broken out in 11 days. You can make a 2-day game. You can make a 28-day game. You can make a 90-day game. You can make a 5-day game. You determine how often you want people to play and for what intervals. You literally can create these scorecards on your own. Of course, we'll help you initially get yours created, but over time you can create many different scorecards. There's actually 4 different games going on in the Fit and Fun game: the 28-day, the 4-day, the financial incentives that I'm going to show you in just a moment, and then also there's also the dream game for personal development. We also have built into this the ability to track certain measurements. Again, your product doesn't have to be about shedding pounds and inches, but you can create a chart like this where you can track metrics, and this is all online. People enter their measurements, and this all stays private for different time frames. You can create as many rows as you want, create percentages, points, pounds, all of these things, and these metrics can enter into your game. Example, we give bonus points for pounds and inches released, and so we actually have online tracking forms. You guys didn't see that with the Roundup game because we weren't tracking something like that, but we have the ability to track other pieces of information. And here, you guys will probably love this. Even if you think that you can't track something with your product or service, which I can about 99% guarantee you can, we also have what's called the financial incentives game. And let me bring that up. This is where we're actually tracking activities around building your business. And again, these are just ideas. This happens to be what we're doing for this particular company, and the financial incentives they want to incentivize. You choose what activities you want to incentivize for your teams. What would work best for how you build your business and what you want to see incentivize. For this particular company, they want to incentivize entering in a social media wall post each day because they understand that that's a foundation. It's a team building activity. Sending that team message each day, really important on what's available there. Entering in their scores, daily game call attendance, check the team roster to make sure they're entering their points. And this is what they call the financial incentives game. This is for lead players. If you guys remember, you had a lead player, and then the rest of you were just playing on that team. What's beautiful about Gamplifying your opportunity and your compensation plan is, first, you can have a game for those people that are just playing, those people that are just using your product or mildly engaged with your compensations plan. Then you can take the next level up, which is what this is, the level up financial incentives game. This is for people that are starting to refer people, to build a team. There's other levels. We have the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game for people that are really serious builders who want to devote maybe an hour or 2 a day. But the Level Up Financial Incentives game are for those people that want to engage maybe 15 to 30 minutes a day in building business building activities. So this is for those kind of people that are really part-time but yet building your business. This gives them a way to interact. And so what we do is we give them about 5 to 10 minutes of activities that they can do in strengthening their existing teams, entering their scores, attending the daily call, friending a new person, and checking their team roster to make sure their team is entering their points. Why do we put 20 points on that particular one? Because the team roster and people entering their points means their team is interacting with the product, and it increases retention and it increases product use. Because this is the financial incentives game, and again, guys, this is all just ideas. We don't have a ton of building team daily activities. We just have send an email or connect with a new person each day, and then we have a social media training guide that trains them how to use social media in a congruent way and make connections through social media outside of the Fit Fun game or outside of the Gamplify portal. And then there's creating your story, using a lot of the portal to upload before and after pictures, and being part of the game update webinar, sharing their testimony on the daily calls, entering a blog post, things that are building their story, and then points for helping their team members enter the story. This is all about, in this culture, people know that stories sell. So there's developing the lead player story and then helping and incentivizing people to capture their story and share it with others within the community, which creates compelling evidence and reasons to believe and dramatic difference for others to really get out there and play the game. And then we have some team building bonuses, hosting a 3-way call, helping a new person join the team, helping someone have two people join the team, help a team member lead their own team, enrolling a new person on your team, and personally starting a new game. All of these have huge bonuses that incentivize people and bonus points to do that. And then we have penalty points, things that you typically don't want your organization doing. Negatively talking downline, speaking negatively about another person, missing an opportunity to introduce the business opportunity or products, and someone dropping off of your team. And so guys, you decide. Don't think like you have to adopt this scorecard. This is just an example of the type of activities you want to engage. In our millionaire game, there's a ton of different business building activities for those types of people that want to actually put hours each week into building their team. This particular game is built for those that want to engage just for 15 to 30 minutes a day of team building and foundational work, as well as building and team building work as well. And so all of those points lead into a leaderboard for the financial game. So literally we have a leaderboard for those that are playing the fitness game and engaging with the product in this particular example, and we have a leaderboard for those that are playing the financial game, and a leaderboard for those that are playing the millionaire game, and soon, in this particular example, the leaderboard for those that are playing the dream game, which is leveling up in their own personal development. So I wanted to give you that case study and let you know, for now, going on 5 months, these team players are producing a 90% retention rate on a $300 to $350 a month auto ship. Guys, that's unprecedented in this industry. And why are we able to do that? It's because we have the incentives for, I believe, at least in my experience in direct sales profession, for the first time ever, we've been able to get true alignment with incentives that motivate people. You see, there's a key statistic in direct sales that has been true for as long as I've been in the direct sales industry. The Direct Selling Alliance publishes this statistic. The DSWA affirms this statistic, and each company affirms this statistic as well. And it's simply this: 80% of the people that are in your organization or in your company are what most companies would consider product users. They may be on auto ship or home delivery. They may buy periodically, but they're not actually business builders. Only about 20% of the people are actually business builders. Now, this is the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 principle. It shows up everywhere in life. Now, let me ask you, if you want to produce a large amount of change in a short period of time in your business, would you want to focus on where 80% of the potential change could occur, or on 20%? Of course, the answer is 80%, but this is what we've all been going after. How do we motivate the 80% to actually become 20%ers, to move into some business building activities? And I believe the answer lies squarely in Gamplify and using game dynamics and game thinking. Matter of fact, games have been around for decades. Matter of fact, I just turned 40, and I'm considered the first generation that games and online games and video games were not only an optional choice of recreation, but a primary choice of recreation. So there's a lot of research, and much like a DISC profile or a Myers-Briggs profile, they've been researching what type of game players are out there. Now, 2% of them are killers, right? And hopefully nobody on this call is a killer, but there's people who play games who are just like, I want to win, I want to grind you into the dust, and I want you to know it, right? That's about 2% of the people that play any game, whether that's Monopoly or whatever. If they don't win, then they get mad and they storm off, or if they win, they just gloat and grind it in other people's face. 5% of players are explorers. They just like to play and explore the dynamics of the game. They don't care whether they win or lose. They're just kind of exploring. 13% of the game players are achievers. And that's what, as I was sharing with leadership at the DSWA event and all the leaders there, that's who you are. If you're on this webinar, you're a leader or an achiever. You're taking your business and treating it seriously. You're engaging in continued education. You're growing your business. You're a leader within your profession, and you're a leader or an achiever within your company. The challenge is, going back to the 80-20 principle, 80% of the people out there are socializers. And socializers like low conflict, easy to reciprocate social interactions. Guys, none of that describes sales or direct sales, right? Which requires a little bit of conflict, which requires persuasion, which requires sales. So no wonder 80% of the people just engage with our product. They don't want that kind of interaction in their life. They're not built to be viral referral agents. So they just, I'll use the product, I'll do this, I'll do that, but don't expect me to build a business, because they're socializers. And the thought of going out and drawing circles on a grease board or sharing the business opportunity or trying to explain to someone whether this or that product or service is the best thing ever, it goes well beyond low conflict, easy to reciprocate social interactions. That is until the game. And what the game does is awaken the 80%. Why? Because the 80% now get to say, come play a game with me. And what that offer is, it's right in between the financial opportunity and the product opportunity. They get to share in a way that is very natural and congruent to them. And it begins to create not only retention, but retention of a greater amount of people, because we're now, for the first time ever, actually able to really gather up and incentivize 80% to go beyond just using the product to inviting others to play a game. And what happens is it creates a huge funnel for your business. A funnel where the 80% is the mouth of the funnel. That's where the bulk of the people are. And if we can awaken them even just a little bit, then we have the ability to really to level them up and take them to the next level. So I wanted to give you a little bit about Gamplify, give you a case study where we're seeing a 90% retention rate month after month after month. And now let's talk about next steps. Guys, we had people saying, oh, call me, hurry up. We want to follow up with me. As a matter of fact, 120 people asked us to follow up with them. Myself and Robert and many others are just calling people and doing the follow-up. So let's talk about what the next steps are. How did you Gamplify your company? Think about it this way. Gamplify.us, which was the game built around the DSWA, didn't even exist. We actually came up with this idea about 4 or 5 days out. And we were able to bring that game up, develop the scorecard, and bring it live within 4 to 5 days. The way that you're going to actually Gamplify is simply do this. And guys, and I'm not going to put a ploy on you, but there's a little bit of scarcity here, because we're only going to bring 2 to 5 companies live a week out of the hundreds that are already ready. So the way that you get in line and in queue, all right, and we'll speed it up over time, but we want to bring them up slowly, make sure that they actually get engaged and everything is customized to you. Your scorecards are customized. We'll accelerate that eventually within 30 days where anybody can show up and just join anytime they want to. But we want to ramp this up slowly. We want to make sure that you have a great experience. We have a lot of experiences with customizing our software to companies, so we want to take a little time and not just rush into this and just take everybody at once. We really want to focus in on the people that really want this, help you work through the process. We'll learn even more about what it is to customize a scorecard to you, and then we can kind of open up the floodgates as we move along. But what that means is I need you to communicate with me. If you're ready to get going today, then email me at fun, F-U-N, at Gamplify.com. And I'm just going to take it first come, first serve. I've got a call tomorrow with one of your leaders in the DSWA who are ready to do it for their consultancy and their business. I've got 3 other people that are ready to go. Robert was making calls today. We're already getting emails. I had a person call me the day after, and I'm actually going to meet them tomorrow. I'm meeting a direct sales company here in Dallas tomorrow. I'm meeting a direct sales consultant tomorrow. We've already got our funnel filling up. So if you want to Gamplify your company, email me at fun@Gamplify.com and get in the queue. And guys, here's the deal. For everybody that played the Gamplify game at the DSWA, we're going to Gamplify your company for free. Now, normally we charge $97 for this. And or sometimes we'll waive the $97 if you agree to 5 months. Your financial commitment is $0 up front. You simply agree to pay your $19.97 per month as the lead player fee for a 6-month period. We want you to give this enough time to produce results. Guys, the cost for people to play your game, once you design it, they'll get a 7 or 14-day free trial depending on how long your game is. If it's a little less than 14 days, then there'll be a 7-day free trial. If you run a 28-day game, we'll give you up to a 14-day free trial for both players and lead players. You guys know that you registered as players and or lead player. Both get a 7 or 14-day free trial. The player pays $9.97 a month, $9.97. The lead player pays $19.97 a month to actually access, lead their team, and a phenomenal suite of tools that we haven't even unleashed on you yet. Things that help you share the game virally. Powerful tools that we've created to actually promote and share your game with others. Much less the scorecards, the leaderboards, the social media, and all the different aspects that come. So we're waiving the $97 fee to actually private label this and get your own Gamplify site, and you literally can get it because you played the Gamplify site for $0, and then all you pay is $19.97 a month as a lead player, and then your players pay $9.97, and then whenever they want to lead the team, they just click upgrade and they upgrade to the $19.97. Now they can lead a team, all with a 7 or 14-day free trial. Our goal is to get this Gamplify technology into the hands of as many people as possible. It's really powerful. And what we've also offered, if you guys got the email, is that all the people that scored above 200 points, which is about 7 teams, I'm offering a 1-hour webinar for you and all the people that were at your table that played on your team, where I can do a Q&A with you about taking your team live, talk to you about your scorecard. For the top 3 players, I'm giving 2 hours, then 2 webinars for the team that won, a personal one-on-one consultation. Now we're going to consult with you anyway, but this is my time, right? I'll put one of my team members helping you bring your game up, but I'm going to invest those times in the top 3 players, the top 3 teams that won at the DSWA event. So you get some free consultation time, which is really cool. But our goal is to get this Gamplify technology in the hands of as many direct sales professionals as possible, because it's powerful for attracting, for bringing people into your business and causing such a high level of retention to happen on your teams. That's why we made the price point so affordable, both on the setup fee, the $97, and then the $9.97 and the $19.97. And for all of you that played the DSWA Roundup points, we're waiving that $97, and we want you to get started. So what are your next steps? Email me at fun@gamplify.com. Say, I'm ready to go. Contact me. I want to start my team ASAP. Then myself, Robert, or any one of our staff will be following up with you and scheduling a follow-up call and webinar where we talk about your company, get an understanding of what you want to incentivize in your scorecard, and walk you through the next steps. The next steps are really simple. You're going to want to get a domain name to put your game under, myfungame.com, whatever. And then you'll give us that domain name, or we'll tell you where to point that domain name, and then we'll work on customizing the look and feel of your website to your particular company, to your particular brand, and we'll go from there. Now, depending on how much you want to customize it, whether you're going directly to the company or not, we may need to submit some things to compliance. You can bring a game up without even mentioning any of your company's names, products, or anything like that. There's a way to Gamplify without having to go through compliance. But if we use any of your company's names, logos, trademarks, anything in the URL, then we always go through compliance first. We want to make sure you get written approval to use that information, or we can Gamplify your products and services without ever really mentioning the product name or anything that has to do with the trademark or intellectual property of your company, and you can still Gamplify your company. You just can't use any of their materials, their videos, or anything like that. We're very sensitive about working with companies. We have a lot of corporate clients, and we've learned over the years that we don't do things and ask forgiveness later. So if you're a rep group, we can do this for you. Even if your team is just 6 people, let's say, okay, I'm going to do this, and all I've got is 6 subscribers. Well, then, hey, we'll start there, right? And then if you're a company and you're part of corporate, we'll work with you. So we work with rep groups, we work with corporate, we have all different types of clients that we are Gamplifying. So in conclusion, next steps. Email me at fun@gamplify.com. Get yourself in lines, because we're going to be flooded here in the next couple of weeks of bringing these up. Within 30 to 60 days, you'll be able to bring up your own, click through it, and do all of that. But we really want to focus in on the first few that want to take a first mover advantage, be some of the first in the whole direct sales industry to have this level of technology and really lead the field in Gamplifying your opportunity. I want to thank you tonight for taking time to learn more about Gamplify and how Gamplify can help you amplify your results in your direct sales business. Make sure you give us a call soon. We look forward to hearing from you and working with you. Again, I want to thank you for such the gracious reception that you gave all of our staff, myself, and my family at the DSWA event. You guys were awesome. Each one of you were exemplary role models of the direct sales profession, and I want to thank you for sharing your organization and time with us. And we look forward to Gamplifying, having fun with you, and seeing you produce phenomenal results. Have a great evening, and contact us soon.